Good afternoon to you. First of all, I would like to apologize. We're supposed to be here exactly 2, but today this office has not been working so much so that I could come early. But nonetheless, I'm here, and thank you for coming. I welcome you to this press briefing. My name is Colonel Lampol Gabriel. I'm the spokesperson of the SPLM IO. Not supposed to have this press here. You know, we are still implementing the agreement, and I'm supposed to be in bill from being a soldier, but not in the office of the first vice president. But since the implementation is very slow, my commander-in-chief is still Dr. Ragmachartain. That gives me the privilege to still be around him until we complete the unification. So I welcome you to this office and to this press briefing of today, the 13th, February 2025. My briefing will be basically divided into 2. Then the third one will be in case of any question that you have, and I'll be here willing to answer. I'll be talking on the intentional violation of the transitional security arrangement that has been happening beginning early January to yesterday. On 12th of February 2025, that was yesterday, there has been an aggressive attack on the SPLM IO cantonment site of Rangu in western Equatorial State by the SSPDF under the command of General James Nando. The SPLM IO force had to tactically withdraw to a safer location with no single casualty or injury. However, of course, they had to desert the training center or the cantonment site for fear of losing their lives and destroying also the properties. Yesterday there was a JDB meeting. In the JDB, that question was raised as to why is there a violation in the cantonment site of the SPLM IO. However, the SSPDF denied their participation in the clashes, labeling it as a tribal war between the Azande and the Balanda tribes. However, there was a video that was shot in the cantonment site, and in that video we were able to see how Brigadier James Nando with his bodyguards celebrated the capture of the Rangu cantonment site by the SSPDF. So technically the SSPDF participated in the violation of yesterday but denied it. At the same time, there was also evidence that showed how they participated in it. That is 1. 2, expansion of territory by the SSPDF through dismantling the SPLM IO assembly areas in western Equatoria and western Baragazal in the name of removing illegal checkpoints. This is started on the 12th of January 2025 to the 2nd of February 2025. We have seen series of attacks. I started from Kubribo to Ngolamba, western Baragazal, and proceeded up to Juru River on the 2nd, in complete violation of the agreement. It should be noted that the SPLM IO did not refuse to close down the so-called illegal checkpoints. The challenge was that there was no consensus reached between the SSPDF command and the SPLM IO command on the modalities to be used to close down those checkpoints. We know there was a resolution from the Governors Forum that there are complaints from traders, complaints from civilians regarding taxation on the checkpoints in the country. So the resolution was that these checkpoints need to be removed. The SPLM understand that completely, but we need to understand the kind of checkpoints that are there in this country. There are checkpoints that are meant solely for security purposes, and there are checkpoints that, even if it is for security purposes, it involves a little bit of taxation in it. That was what we're talking about. There was no consensus reached on the modalities. Who was supposed to be the one to remove the checkpoints, especially in IO control area? Should it be the SSPDF or should it be the SPLM? And if they are removed, especially when it becomes like a security checkpoint, who are supposed to be deployed there? Those are the modalities that we're talking about. So it wasn't, there was no agreement or there was no consensus reached between those two commands. The unification of forces also is not yet completed, and there are still areas controlled by the SPLM that are designated as assembly areas. The checkpoints in those areas are mainly for security purposes, but not taxation. The agreement did not in any way give unilateral authority to the SSPDF to dictate terms in the SPLM control areas. You can't come to our areas and start saying remove the checkpoints. We are still implementing the agreement. The security arrangement is not yet completed. There is no way you can come. There is no way even the SPLM can come to the SSPDF territory and say please close down the checkpoints. That will never happen. As long as we are still implementing this agreement in letter and in spirit, it can't happen. Unless if we have a different agreement that we need to implement. The SSPDF therefore used the resolution from the Governors Forum as an excuse to expand their territory and also destroy the SPLM assembly areas, which is in complete violation of the permanent ceasefire. Article 2.1.10.4 of this agreement prohibits offensive, provocative, or retaliatory actions such as dissemination of hostile propaganda, recruitment, mobilization, redeployment, or movement of forces except for administrative and logistical purposes, which shall be communicated to the citizen prior to movements and any other activities that may jeopardize the agreement. You see, when we came to Juba, we had several meetings since 2018 to date. The JMCC is there as a mechanism to monitor ceasefire. The citizen is there to monitor any violation. The JTAC is there to make sure that training is in place. And the JDB is in charge of command and control of all the forces to the agreement. If we are implementing this agreement, you can't cross from one area to another, move these forces without giving prior notice to the citizen. We have traveled, we have moved as JMCCs, as JTACs, or as members of the mechanism to various places, but whenever we move, there are citizens involved. There are also members of the joint units involved. You can't go on your own to a territory that doesn't belong to you. So this article was completely violated by the SSPDF, beginning from early January, when they deployed in Bo Bridge, to yesterday, the 12th February 2025, when they attacked the Rangu cantonment site. A cantonment site is an area designated by the agreement to harbor or to canton the forces of the opposition. It's the same like the barracks of the SSPDF. And we are all partners to the agreement implementing peace. How then is it rightful for the SSPDF to move from their area barracks to a cantonment site and say it is justified? It's not. It is intentional. It is to provoke us to respond. It is to destroy the agreement. So this article was completely violated by the SSPDF. We do not know their intention. We do not know what they want. But to the SPLM, this is waging of war that only destroys, destabilizes the country, send our civilians who are very innocent, very vulnerable, to the bushes. We send them to IDPs. What is the gain in doing that? Because the SPLM cannot be defeated by war. You can't. We have tried, they have tried, but we decided to sign an agreement in 2018. That's why we are here in Juba. So this little instability that we have in this country looks like it's not very important. We go to the current stage of the transitional security arrangement. Let's leave about the violation a little bit. We know that we have sent forces to cantonment centers. We have trained them. They were graduated. But what we have not seen is the continuous deployment of these forces. So all the graduated NUF except the army component are still not deployed. They were graduated in 2022. But up to today, the national police, the national security, the wildlife, and the other organized forces are all not deployed, except for the army. We have managed to deploy around 8 battalions to the various parts of this country, but still there are others that are still in the training centers that need to be deployed. Yet, when we looked at what is happening in this country, all the security units loyal to the SPLM IT GONO or the SPLM IG are busy recruiting, are busy training, are busy graduating and deploying new forces. This is a violation, because the agreement says no recruitment of new forces until you complete these forces or you completely unify these forces that are in the training centers. But they are doing it. Now, when we asked, are those forces who are supposed to be the necessary unified forces not South Sudanese? What makes them different from the forces that the SSPDF or the police or these force IG security sectors? What is the difference? Are these forces more South Sudanese than the rest? Or the unified forces are less South Sudanese than those ones they are recruiting? If we are all South Sudanese, we call ourselves as citizens belonging to this country, why will you not deploy these forces that are still in the training centers? This is not justifiable. It does not need money to deploy these forces. From 2022, where did you get the money to recruit these new forces from? This is a violation which is being done intentionally to jeopardize this peace agreement to frustrate the IO forces that are in the training centers so that they go back to the bush. But we are here for peace. We'll continue implementing the peace agreement in letter and in spirit. The middle command is also yet to be deployed. There was a call by the presidency and the international community for the SPLM to submit the list of their officers to the president for deployment in the second command. If we know, we only deployed what we call the high command. And this high command currently are in charge of all these forces that are unified, and those ones that are still in the training centers, and those ones that are still in the barracks. But the second command is not yet deployed. The list was given still last year. But what we are hearing is that the list is having, the SPLM have given a lot of names belonging to officers. They have excess officers. But the list that has been given to the president has got, okay, the SPLM has given its list of officers to the president for deployment in all the security sectors based on the agreed percentage of 60% for the SSPDF, 30% for the SPLM, and 10% for SOA. Therefore, the notion that the SPLM has given excess names of officers for deployment is baseless. When you look at the structure that is in Bilfam, the structure that is in the National Police Service, in the National Security Service, we took our part of the 30% and allocated it to our officers. And those names of officers have been submitted to the president based on that percentage. Not just bringing random names and given to them. No, it's not like that. It was based on the agreed percentage. There are other names that are given, just like in the dam record. The SSPDF have got a dam record. They have got excess officers that are there in Bilfam. Why are we not talking about them? Why are we busy talking about the SPLM? Why can't we first of all look at the list and say, okay, let's deploy this one based on the structure that is there on the paper. Then we see the reserve. How many are there in the reserves? So, instead of looking at what is at hand, people like talking things that are not there. And secondly, this list, when it was given, handed over to the president by the first vice president, we were also so surprised that the former minister of the presidential affairs, Honorable Bakasoro, gave the list to the head of units, like the SSPDF was given to the chief of defense force of the SSPDF. The one for national security was given to the DG of national security, for the police, and also the other organized forces. Now, if we may ask, who from this head of unit is senior to Dr. Machar? Who is the first vice president of the Republic of South Sudan, who also doubled as the commander-in-chief of the SPLM? Who is senior? Now, how can a list be taken from someone who is above and given to someone who is lower? That is an undermining of authority of the first vice president and underrating the SPLM. So we all got disappointed when we hear about that, or when we heard about that. But because of peace, we decided to just let everything go, and we wait to see what will happen. There is issue of unification of forces versus integration of forces. In this agreement, there is nothing called integration of forces. It only talk of unification of forces. However, there is a misconception by the SSPDF that the SPLM IO forces are supposed to be integrated or brought in and assimilated into the current SSPDF. It is not in the agreement. This is completely a misunderstanding that needs to be corrected. No SPLM IO soldier will be integrated into the current SSPDF. We all know how we operated during the war. We all know where our loyalty stands. The SPLM IO is loyal to the SPLM IO. That is for facts. And that's the reality. Same with the current SSPDF. They are loyal to the SPLM IG.